Those out there listening on the internet, we are officially going to swear in our newest town councilor, Mary Martin, and then she will take her seat at the table, and Daryl will then open up the meeting.
I
Mary Martin,
do swear that I will support the Constitution
do swear that I will support the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and of the state of Maine,
and of the state of Maine,
as long as I shall remain a citizen thereof.
as long as I shall remain a citizen thereof.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I swear that I will perform all duties
I swear that I will perform all duties
incumbent upon me according to the Constitution
incumbent upon me according to the Constitution
and the laws of the state of Maine
and the laws of the state of Maine.
as town council member of the town of Mechanic Falls
As town council member of the town of Mechanic Falls,
until another is chosen and sworn in my stead.
until another is chosen and sworn in my stead.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What's that?
Great. Roll call. I'm going to add Mary to this. Everyone is currently here. We are now a council of 4 currently. So, there is no executive session. Do we need to make any adjustments to the agenda?
One adjustment to
Yeah.
the agenda. So we'll have a 14.6 August council meeting date and time.
Yep. All right. I personally don't think, I mean, because this is what we're doing, we don't have
Agreed.
okay. So I'm gonna move on to public hearings and presentations, which there is none. There's no ordinances, policies, appointments and resignations. So you want to tee it up or,
Yeah,
well, I mean, yeah.
it's up to
Go
you.
ahead. No, I don't mind.
Okay. So for those who haven't heard, unfortunately, Paula Stott sent in her resignation to the council. And we're obviously sorry to see her go. And we wish her well in all future endeavors. With that said, the council has some work in front of it. And I'm happy to see that with Mary joining you folks, that you are now officially a council of 4. And as the council of 4, you need to first accept Paula's resignation. And then later in the agenda, there is an agenda item for you to discuss replacing someone to Paula's seat. And so for right now, all we need is really an official vote to accept her resignation.
Make a motion to accept reluctantly.
Walter? Walter?
resignation.
Sorry.
Make a motion to reluctantly accept Paula Stott's resignation from the town council.
I second that motion.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
Give it a first vote. Let me think of something. Sorry.
It's been a long day already. General reports, we need a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
So, may I, Mr.
Yes,
Chair?
go ahead.
All right. So, because I'm sure somebody somewhere will bring up the following little conundrum. I have done some quick research this afternoon to try to solve said conundrum. The conundrum is the following. Based on prior practice, where Ray was not here at the last meeting, he would normally abstain from voting on the minutes.
Right.
And Mary wasn't officially a part of the council at the last meeting.
She was here, but she
And
wasn't.
so in order to pass anything, the council needs an affirmative vote of at least 3 members.
Right.
So it presents a little conundrum. And I have some solutions for you. And as a part of the solutions, I think my research on Robert Rules of Order makes it a whole lot simpler. And somewhere in the next fiscal year, with the council's permission, I will at some point in time put in front of you the concept of updating your rules of order, aka bylaws, to reflect what I believe to be a better, more on the ground experience of real life. But for tonight, according to Robert's rules, and this may be something you want to amend in the future with your rules of order, is officially, it's saying essentially that you don't even need a true vote on minutes. And I won't bore everybody with the details, but then it goes, I did further research. If a board member was not present at a meeting, is a member allowed to make a motion and or vote to approve the minutes of the meeting they were not present at? Now, we have a history of saying no. But according to Robert's rules, the answer is yes. And if further confirmation of that in a different web portal thing, is it all right for you to vote to approve the minutes of a meeting you were absent? Robert's Rules of Order gives a resounding yes as the answer to this question. And then it goes on from there. Anybody who really wants to geek out on it, I got it. Okay. So based on all said, my recommendation, you folks do what you want. My recommendation would be to, if Ray is willing to vote yes, to let Ray vote yes and let it go as 3-0 with Mary abstaining because she wasn't a member of the council. It's in your lap now. Good luck.
I mean, just to add to that, of all the committees that I'm on, this is the only committee that says the way we've been doing it is the correct way. And all which they all follow Robert's rules. Of course, everybody interprets things differently, but this is the only committee that I'm on that does it the way we used to do it. I don't know if that matters. I'm good with doing that way, but it's up to you guys. We'd have to,
So
do we need to?
So
Come
I
to a
would
consensus
just let Ray vote, assuming Ray wants to vote,
And then we.
and let it go at that night.
I have read the minutes, so I'm aware of the
Right,
minutes.
right.
And there's nothing that stands out,
Right,
you know.
Yeah, no,
As an issue with.
And
I'm
if,
good with that because to be honest, this is the only committee that I'm
Yeah.
involved in that does it the way we used to do it.
all right, then I put it in your lap for motions.
Okay,
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of June 2nd, the council meeting.
I'll second that. We'll make it that way. And
Okay.
then all those in favor, or any more discussion, sorry. All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
I think that works. Department monthly reports.
I make a motion that we accept the department monthly reports as presented.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
Mary did, yeah, Mary voted.
Yeah, she can vote on
You
it.
can vote on that. Yeah, it's just, it was, I've never experienced it, but I went along with it because it's like, well, everybody does things differently, so. All right, public comments. Go ahead, Steve.
So I'm going to I'm sorry. Go
Oh.
ahead, Steve. My
Go ahead,
apologies.
Steve. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
Yeah, just quick.
Is the mic on? I think it is.
Yeah, it's still on.
How's that?
Yep.
Yes, no?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry that we're missing Paula. I'm sorry that she had to leave and gonna miss her because she showed up. She came prepared. She did her homework. She asked the tough questions. I liked her on food sovereignty. I hope things work out for Paula at her end. But if anybody I know has the strength to pick up the burden that Paula left, it would be Mary. Mary shows up. She comes prepared. She follows through. And I think you'll find, as I have, that Mary's a uniter, not a divider. So, Paula, I'm going to miss you. And I do hope things work out for her. But I think, Mary, I think you can find the strength to pick it up and take it where Paula left it. Thanks.
Thank you, Steve.
You want to kill the mic, Steve? Thank you.
All right, now I think you're gonna queue something up.
Oh,
For the year or later? I assumed it was later, but,
yeah. I
Okay.
just wanted to let you know these gentlemen,
Yeah.
I'll tee them up in a
Yeah.
minute or two.
okay, well, I was confused because I thought you
Yeah.
meant you were
Yeah.
gonna do it now. All right, council comments? Anybody have anything? Yep,
This is housekeeping order. The signs that we have posted for the town of Mechanic Falls needs to be addressed. Those signs are all leaning in multiple directions. If we could reorganize those signs, that would be a tremendous burden off of my inspector's eyesight.
Well, so this is, I'm glad actually you're bringing this up. So you should know the following. Again, everything in government takes way longer than it should. Took a long time just to get the signs and to put them in. And then when we put them in, we were entering a winter. So when Chris and I think Scott was here at the time, when they first put in the signs, we immediately obviously saw what you saw and have been working on a couple of different game plans for resolving the matter. You will note that coming in on 121 from Oxford to Mechanic Falls, you will see those former studs boxed in. So, and it makes it look, gives it a much healthier presence than what was there and the other existing. But because that takes a lot of time and lumber and to fit a box over those, in a recent discussion a couple of months ago with Chris, what they're going to do when they have time to work in is they're probably going to take down those signs and put in 6x6s, if I remember right. And because and everything's a thing. So when we had the signs made, we had the option of having the posts put on or not. We all opted to do that. But the problem is, and again, I'm not the expert here, but I guess because of how the signs were created, it doesn't allow for flexibility with those posts the way that they are now. So Chris's solution is really going to be, as I understand it, pretty much just cut off the post that's there, realign everything with a 6x6 and repost them. And so either it will be that, some combination of further boxing, but he did the boxing on 121 as an experiment, but in doing it, it is quite time consuming. So when they have the time, they will be doing all the other signs, and hopefully eventually it will be all well. I'm sure it will be. If I had it to do all over again, I would have just had them just deliver the signs and let our guys take care of it. So that's the truthful answer to you.
Anything else? All right, town manager report.
Okay, just a few items. June 10th election. A round of applause for our election people. Michelle, Rebecca, Steve, everybody did a great job. It was good. I'm glad we all survived. The results of said election and budget vote are posted on our website if you haven't seen them yet. And I also posted them on Facebook as well. There is a follow-up to Tuesday's election with RSU 16. And I think I gave you all copies of it. I will read the letter aloud so people in the audience and listening at home will know what we're talking about. So on June 12th, RSU 16 sent the town the following letter. Dear board members and town administrators, I'm writing to inform you of the outcome of the June 10th, 2025 vote regarding the proposed change to RSU 16 cost sharing formula. It was approved by a majority of voters, 673 yes, 395 no, 46 blank. With the cost sharing change officially passed by a majority of the voters, the next step is outlined in our reorganization plan. Section F, the secretary of the region shall notify the state board that the region has voted to change its method of sharing costs. The state board shall issue an amended certificate of organization showing this new method of sharing costs. Unquote. As the secretary of the board, I will move forward with notifying the state board and facilitating the necessary documentation. Thank you for your continued support and partnership in this process. Sincerely, Amy Heidegger, Superintendent of Schools. So just a little update there as a part of your election update. I'll quickly do a couple of others and then I'll circle back, as they say, on the Route 26 development update. So the town office, of course, will be closed this Thursday for Juneteenth. I will be on vacation, flying to greater parts on June 19th. I'll be coming back on Monday, June 30th, just for your own edification. Now back to Route 26 development. So at our last council meeting, we had quite a good, healthy discussion based on the letter provided by Walter Goss from the planning board to the council requesting the possibility of hiring a grant writer. And we had a good discussion about that. And at the conclusion of that discussion, what I felt my walking orders were at that moment in time was to do some exploring about the possibility of setting up an exploration committee. And that committee, we were thinking that it would be great if both Jake and Brian, and I'll even throw Nick in there, about being able to be a part of this process as well as others. And I said that I would reach out to them to ask them if we were to form an exploratory committee, would they be willing to serve on said committee? And you can imagine, in addition to them saying yes, they would be willing to serve, I had one-on-one discussions with Jake and two-on-one discussion with Nick and Brian about the whole concept of the Route 26 development. And these gentlemen felt strongly enough about the topic to be here tonight, and with the council's indulgence, I'd like to let Brian and Nick share their thoughts about putting sewer out to Five Corners and beyond. Is that okay? All right. So if you're going to talk from your chair, do me the favor and grab the mic. You can hold the mic or you can stand up there. Either way that suits you is fine with me.
We have plans from an engineer that goes to Five Corners. that was developed in 2013. And the price then was 3.5 million. And we had it, and then 2 years later, it went up to 4.5 million. I don't know what it would cost. I'd be guessing. Ray, you probably have a good idea. And Mr. Young, I don't know what you do for a living.
Construction.
Okay, so you would know.
Know that they've gone up substantially.
Yeah, and if we went just Route 11, that
Right.
would be a cost. If we went up 26,
That's only to Five Corners, the prices that you just mentioned,
that's
right?
right.
Right.
We have
So-
the plans, we have the pump stations needed and so on and so forth.
Now, from my understanding, when we were talking, I don't know as much as I'd like to, but, basically it's gotta be pumped, right? So the further you go, it just creates more pump stations, correct? It's
That's
not
correct.
right. I mean,
And-
does that make sense?
Yeah, and
Okay.
if we went as far as the transfer station, is that how far you wanted to go?
I'm not necessarily for it, but yes.
Okay,
But I mean, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I don't know I mean, Ray, what do you think? I mean,
Get a top of Pigeon Hill.
yeah,
I thought it'd be the top of Pigeon Hill and
right,
not necessarily down to the transfer station. We could always increment that in another, but that wouldn't be well, depending on how we went. We could add a pump station later at that point, to the town line if we had to.
if it was the top of Pigeon Hill, it could just be gravity.
that could be gravity
Gravity
from
feed
Pigeon Hill
To
down,
where? To where? I mean, it's
down to
gotta-
Five Corners,
Yes,
right,
correct. The
Right,
deal
right.
was,
Right,
the town of Poland was involved in this also. They wanted to hook up to our sewer line. And we said, we'll go to Five Corners and you connect to us. And it stopped there. This is
right,
the third or fourth time this is.
right. So you said a year or two later, it jumped up to 4.5. So did you say 2013 was original? So
2013, then 2015,
2015,
and then just getting somebody to do it.
right? I mean, we all know that labor and materials have more than doubled since then.
And then it's not just the sewer lines and the pump stations and all that, it's the plant itself.
Right.
It's not,
So how much of an upgrade would the plant need? Do you know?
it would be significant.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at max capacity
Right.
now.
So was some of that included in the 4.5, or was that just the 4.5 was just to get the sewer to the plant?
At that time, we were okay.
Okay,
Now,
we're at capacity.
yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
You also
Yeah,
have to
no,
remember,
that-
we're part of a CSO community. We used to have 98 catch basins connected to the sewer line. We're down to 11 now, and we've reduced the amount of water or sewer that goes into the river at heavy rains.
Right,
So the state's gonna have to be involved in this, and they would have to decide if we can do this.
right,
And like Brian says, a significant amount of upgrade.
right,
And we're doing that now. Our upgrades.
right,
That's
right,
3-4 years before that's good.
right.
do you have the capacity for the percolation at your filter, at your plant right now? For conversion, for your solid conversions,
I don't
your
understand.
filter beds?
We don't have filter bed.
Well, your
We have our sludge hauled off.
sludge, oh, you have it hauled.
We used to land apply, then PFAS came
Oh.
off.
Okay, so you're just doing separation then?
Yes.
Okay. Will you have the capacity to deal with it?
Yeah,
As long as you haul it off.
and we'd have more hauled off. It used to cost us $13,000 a year to get rid of our sludge. Now it's close to 40, 45. PFAS really hurt. Great amounts of swearing.
What side of the road was your plan? My side?
This side, that was the right side. I mean, north,
If we head south, if we head south on
on the
11,
right side.
the water line's on the right side.
That was the plans,
So you're gonna have it on the same side as your water line?
apparently, because our sewer is on that side from Mitchell Street. Well, actually, it's right down the middle
Yeah.
of the road.
Wow.
It could go either way, Ray.
Yeah, okay.
But the plans have it on the right currently,
Yes.
which, it's an engineered plan. So kind of got to stick to it if you were to go with that plan.
And you have a copy of those plans.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, Mary, I'll send that out to you. Because I did send it to the other council members. So they have a copy of the correspondence. And again, you were here last time when we talked about it. So, I'll send you that whole packet.
Do you think, I mean, I understand this, I am not holding you to any numbers.
Sure.
Understand, but if I was to throw out a ballpark number of $10 million now, if it was in 2015, it was almost $5 million. We've gone through COVID and all the costs have gone up more than double. I would think 10 would be near the
That
bottom.
wouldn't be surprising at all.
Yeah, I mean, it would not surprise me. I mean, but again, I'm just throwing that out there. We don't have those hard numbers, I understand. But realistically, I mean, Ray, you would have to
I
agree
think
with
that's
that.
low. myself.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it would be higher than that personally,
Say
but
20.
Yeah.
We have to buy it. We're borrowing money from our governments for the American made.
Right.
Aluminum's going up.
yeah, no, I think 10 would be like I was trying to be super uber conservative and I mean, but through
That's-
COVID
That
and
would
the,
be people-
with materials and labor, the way it's gone, I would think that,
We were gonna extend the sewer line past Park Street. Dollar General was coming here. We're gonna go 500 feet. It was
$20,000 for the environmental impact study, and then the people backed out.
The environmental impact study alone.
I understand.
But that's 6 miles and another 4. It's 10 miles altogether, maybe 11. That's,
Somewhere in there.
we used to carry at least $1 million a mile.
In the state.
And it's, I'm sure it's changed, with the price of, mains and everything going up.
And
You
if
guys
can
you're gonna use SDR on that? Or were you
Yes.
gonna, okay, yeah, so 12-inch mains, maybe?
I think the plans call for 8, but I don't recall.
It's gonna be undersized.
So the money that you're discussing is again for just running it out there and making it, I'll call it Pigeon Hill, Five Corner compliant. You said a few minutes ago that you're nearing capacity. So what would that do to your capacity and what would you have to alter at the plant itself?
You have to have probably larger pumps, more pumps, but like Nick said, we're part of the CSO. Right now, during the heavy rain events, it's very difficult to process and handle, and treat the water properly, and we do. But to take on the additional flow, either would have additional flow coming into the plant or would have more overflows, and that's not good either.
Right?
Right now, we have a procedure we call wasting. That's when we get so much in, we send it out to a big tank. We do that anywhere from 8 to 11 days. With additional flow, we might have to do it every 2 to 3 days and haul off more. We're paying $45,000 to get rid of it. It could go up to 80.
Are you gonna have to add storage capacity?
Probably.
Not up front though, depending on how many tie-ins you have.
Right.
You're planning on impact, connection fees, et cetera?
We haven't gotten that far. And we went down with 11 asking people if they wanted to hook up, and it was 50-50. You had some people that just put in a new,
Septic.
yes, and they all but slammed the door in our face. And you understand.
If I had a new septic, I wouldn't want to,
Yeah.
why would I want to pay per month if it's already paid for up front? So.
My sense, last month when I listened to this discussion was that the planning board was asking partly for us to seek out some grant money. I guess my question to you guys are you aware if there is significant grant money out there for this kind of project? Because that they were not talking about us locally carrying all of it. They wanted us to look for some grants that might support it.
I'm sure they're out there, Mary. Development grants are always out there.
Yeah.
If we get a development, we can't force the people to hook up.
Mhm.
You all know that.
Yeah.
But if they are out there, but the hoops that you have to jump through, it's incredible.
And
We're in
remember,
the
this
middle
is
of our
just
project
one of
now.
the 3 phases of things that we would need to do to get to the corner. Because we also need power and we also need water out there, right?
So,
There's water
and
out-
Jake's,
There's water.
Not
to
up the
corner.
hill. There's water.
There's water to 5 corners.
yeah, 2 5 corners.
Okay.
But going up. Jake, and again, it depends upon what it is you want to do, but his just surface bumper sticker conversation pretty much mirrored his conversation with me, pretty much mirrored what Paula said last month, you know, that it would be 10, 20, $30 million. Now, I don't know, right? I'm the guy with the least amount of information in the room, but with that said, we would certainly have to do a deeper drill down on this. And so for tonight's purpose, as I had my discussion with these gentlemen, they felt strong about this to want to be here tonight to share with you their thoughts on this. And for me, from a realistic point of view, so you all make whatever decisions at the table you want. For me, for you, I would have this be a part of your August agenda and have you take between now and then and do some noodling and soul searching on this to see if you do want to form an exploratory committee. And if so, what that might look like. And then we can move forward with starting to shape it. So you kind of know where I feel, where I am on this. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse again, but I do feel like, if we are to form an exploratory committee, other than an initial meeting, I would really want that committee to know that the flag has been planted in the town of Mechanic Falls to want to do this and to make it so. Because other than that, we're just wasting people's time.
Right.
Right. And so, I mean, I have a great respect for all involved. And if this is something that Mechanic Falls wants to have happen, well, then we'll get behind it. We'll make it so. But I just want eyes wide open in the realities of the moment. So if you want to make a decision on this tonight, feel free. If not, then I will put it on your August agenda for next steps, if any.
I have a question that I'm pretty sure nobody can answer, or maybe you can. How much taxes does our one big business that we love to talk about that's out on 26? How much taxes do they bring into this town? Like, we're talking about spending $50-60 million to get out water and sewer to bring in some businesses to this town. To how much they pay in taxes? I mean, 20,000? Is it $20,000 a year?
So,
Winifred?
so when I first got here, I had,
I'm just asking a question. I mean, like, how long would it take us to get back $50 million, like in taxes revenue from a business? That's what I want to know.
When I was on the council, I was amazed at what Hannaford paid in taxes every year. 25, 30,000?
so I don't have at my disposal a top 5 list. When I first came to town, I got one, but I wouldn't rely on that at this
Right.
point. But I could get the answer to that question.
No, I know you can, and I'm just kind of throwing that out there because, like, in my mind, I'm sitting there going, "This is a lot of money. How many years would it take to pay for this project? With even if you bring in 4 businesses, that's still only $100,000 a year. Like, let's just say it's 25 for ease, right? Like, maybe it's a little more, maybe it's a little less, but whatever. Like, but let's just be realistic. We don't even know 3 businesses want to go out there. But if you have 3 more businesses, and Hannaford's already paying their taxes, right? So you really can't count that because they're already there, right? So to get 4 more businesses out there on 26 to pay that amount of taxes is only $100,000 a year. I mean, I'm no brain surgeon, but like $100,000 a year takes quite a few years to pay $50 million, and you're paying interest on that $50 million. Because you're gonna be getting, we're not, I mean, we can't write the check for that.
And the grocery stores don't really generate much.
Right.
profit.
And I'm sure that a commercial business would do, we would do better, but like, but still, I'm when Ray, you're in the business world, you're in the commercial end more than I am. Maybe I'm talking foolishness. I don't know.
Right now, I know there are 3 interested parties in the Ramu farm that want to do a conglomerate residential area, so that might be an answer for them to
If it was an
move
apartment building,
apartment
if it was an
complexes.
apartment complex, yeah, that. But how long would it take? Pay off 20 million, $25 million? I don't think any of us in this room would say it. No.
Well, that's assuming that you have to pay every nickel of it. You know, there are federal grants out there for,
Right, but you're also gonna be paying interest too. So it's more than, like, it's like if your loan is $30 million, your payout is gonna be more like 40 or 35. So, you know, so like, I understand what you're saying, but like, and again, you're gonna put it on the taxpayers of today to make it easier for somebody to develop something out there. Why should the average homeowner have to pay more for their taxes so that they can develop their land out there? That's the question I've got, right? Like, why does Joe, whoever sitting here, why would he want to be invested in developing 26? Because he doesn't have a stake in 26. Not unless he makes his taxes go down, but this is going to make his taxes go up for at least 20 years to pay for it. In my mind, but I could be wrong, but I mean, it'd be great for that developer, right? But they got big pockets. Let them fill it.
I just think this might be a good question for exploratory committee. I mean, it get
Right.
bogged down in details when we were talking about hooking up to Oxford, last meeting. I mean, would they be interested in hooking up or helping us? So it just seems to be a lot of questions, and before we say no, you know, just a little more
But
information.
this is, as a business owner, the only thing that I would say is before we make everybody do all that work that we want them to do, like, we need to make sure, like, to say, hey, Brian, hey, can't you spend 20 hours a week on figuring out what this might cost us? Like he's already busy, right? Like, so like, I don't want to waste people's time, right? And I'm not saying it is a waste of time, because I'm only going from my very limited knowledge and from my perspective. But I don't mind having an exploratory committee, but I just want to make sure that we really know what we want before we waste, because this exploratory has been done before. I would say probably, I guess, at least twice, 2 other times. One at least, because you've got a plan, right?
Oh, it's been done more than twice.
Yeah.
But exploratory.
Ryan, want to hit the mic?
You know, I think the average person in our town is gonna have your reaction. You know, when is it gonna pay for itself? How much more taxes am I gonna spend?
Yeah, I think maybe what we need to explore is if there are any grants out there. If there are no grants out there, it's not ever going to be a possibility for
Yeah.
us. And I think that's more what the planning board was asking us to do. What I remember, they were asking, could we have a grant writer? But so maybe the exploratory committee needs to start with looking, are there any grants that would help to support it? Because it isn't something we're ever going to be able to support
Right.
locally.
And a grant writer
And-
would know.
And
He would, if you had an exploratory talk with a grant writer, you'd be like, if he's a grant writer, he's writing these grants all the time. He knows what's up.
you know, and maybe the exploration is at the state level, and I'm sure you have some of those contacts that maybe that's what the committee
The
needs. to
plan
start
that
with.
he has makes us shovel ready, and that's a very big deal.
Yeah. Because it's already been engineered.
It's already been engineered. There's 3 separate plans. And the only difference in them is the number of pump stations needed.
So I will say that I don't think I have that level of detail. I have some cursory information that you gave me in a prior one-on-one meeting, and it kind of outlines. I'll send to, I don't know if your email is still active. When I send to Mary's, the information to Mary, I'll send it to you, Brian, so that way we are all on the same page with the same information, okay? I do have It's, the information I have from Oliver was a preliminary. That it was like a 2 or 3 page preliminary and talked about, pumping stations and 55-foot drop but it was just a surface analysis. So if there's something deeper, I don't have that.
What we haven't put,
Okay,
and I'm under the impression that that's shovel ready.
okay. Because in the thing, he did the CYA of saying that it is a preliminary, right? That further would need to be done. But again, all of this for the purposes of a grant writer and grant. My other question would be, so let's say there is a grant. Let's say there's a grant. I don't know how long these grants tend to be good for, but these guys are going to be tied up for 2 to 3 years.
Oh.
The project that we're doing now.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, even if we start the process now, we're not gonna be putting a shovel in the ground for 2 years. I'm involved in another project in Vermont and it's been 4 years. It takes a while. Like, there's a lot of hoops that would have to be jumped through.
So to Mary's,
But there are some grants out there that are even for engineering. There are grants out there to do different things, different parts of the project.
so to Mary's point, what I'm willing to do at this point on my own between now and August is I will do some cursory reaching out to somebody at the state. I don't know if you've got a name or number or somebody that for your world that maybe I could reach out to. I'll do some cursory surface reaching out, but just know that that's exactly what it is. And then if we do form an exploratory committee, because of the nature of this, normally when you form an ad hoc committee, the council would give the committee a charge. And that charge is to do something specific. So in this instance, I would want an exploratory committee to have a charge from you guys. So that way they know what they're spending their time on. And they're not spending their time on something that you're not asking for.
Right.
And then have them do the due diligence on that task and then report back to you. If it's 1 meeting or 10 meetings, have them report back to you guys. And then for further consideration, does that sound fair?
Yeah.
I'd strongly suggest that you call Oliver Associates,
Okay.
223-2232, and
223
232.
2232 and the gentleman,
Um,
I don't remember his name.
Bill Oliver,
Bill,
or Mandy, she's the finance,
Bill or Mandy.
she's the one that could tell you what grants are out there and steer you in that.
All right. And she can email me or whatever. Yeah. And sometimes I do get like congressional stuff, but this is what makes me always shake my head. So when you see that stuff, they want it a week from Thursday. It's just never practical, and poor Jake with Golden's office 2 years in a row now trying to get Libby Road. Looks like he might be a third go around because according to Jake, they haven't done anything. They've pretty much frozen everything at the federal level. But at any rate, so I can take that half measure and put it on your August agenda for more. That makes sense?
I don't think we're gonna come up with, I think this is too big of a deal to
Yeah,
rush into, like, hey, we need to do this. I think we need to keep talking about it. And then if you can do that and get us a little more information.
I'll try.
Right.
No guarantees, but I'll try.
Good to see all of you.
Thank you for your information.
Get an open
Thanks,
seat.
Nick. Thanks, Brian.
I feel a little less ignorant now, a little.
You can get John or me, the Bahamas with you.
Okay, so that concludes my town manager update. Back to the chair.
Just so quick, everybody's good with where we're at right now with that. Sometimes I get talking. I want to make sure I didn't over talk. Okay. Just making sure. All right, old business. I don't see anything, nothing that you can think of. Anybody else think of anything old business that we need to deal with? Okay, new business. Oh, yeah, you can elect the new chair.
I'll second that.
I thought you guys are my friends. It's been moved and seconded. Do I need to well, I don't even have a vice chair now. So I guess I'm gonna have to take the vote.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but normally I'd step down because it's me
Yeah,
as an.
but
no.
these boards are a little bit more informative. You can vote, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, okay. All those in favor, raise your hand. Sorry, I'm not gonna vote for it.
301
I
or 40?
I just abstained. I'm not gonna vote for myself. I never.
301.
Yes, 301. All right. Take a motion to elect the vice chair. Normally I do my due diligence and push, but I didn't push it at all tonight. I don't care. I'm coming on sick for the year. Just so you know.
Make a motion for Walter Berry to be our vice chair.
Second.
And moved and seconded. Any discussion? Are you willing to do it? Thank you. Since you had no problem throwing me under the bus, I'm gonna accept that. All those in favor, raise your hand. I am voting for this one. I'm gonna say no.
Walter
Yeah,
abstains.
yes, because he did say that he would do it. All right, so. Next is filling the remainder of Paula Stott's term for 1 year. This isn't, well, we read the bylaws or the.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so I provided as a part of your packet and with your permission,
Yeah,
Daryl,
go ahead.
for the rest of the world. So as a part of the town charter, the charter actually speaks to Paula's resignation in the following manner. It says in the filling of vacancies, in the case of a vacancy caused by death, resignation, or other cause, the vacancy shall be filled at the next regular municipal election for the unexpired term. The council shall fill vacancies in its number occurring between regular municipal elections by an affirmative vote of at least 3 members, and the term of the office of any member of the council so chosen shall expire at the next municipal election. So we have I don't know if I want to call it good news, but so Paula just had 1 more year on her term.
Right,
So if she had 3, you could only fill it for the next year
Right.
until next June's election.
Right.
As so happens, that part of the storyline is moot, right? So whoever takes over policy will serve until the next June
but
election.
regardless, it would only be for a 1 year term anyway,
That's right.
according to our bylaws.
And so it gives, as this is read, it gives the council tremendous latitude in how you choose to fill that seat. And you have any number of ways of doing it at your disposal. You could even say that you want to go as a council of 4, though I don't recommend it, but you could do that. If I know that in past, you guys have taken applications, thought processes. Recently, somebody has put out there about taking the next highest number of votes from last Tuesday election. You can walk out front on the stoop, as I've said to many other people, and tap somebody on the shoulder and say, you're serving for the next year, assuming you agree. So you have many different ways that you can do this. So I throw it into the the council of the council
But
for you guys to
if I'm
consider.
mistaking, there is no second place. Clear.
There is no,
There-
no.
Because
so-
the next two people had 7. It was a tie.
Right.
So.
But you're not
No, but I'm
beholden
just
to
saying,
that.
like, I'm just saying that, like, I
Yeah.
wanted to be clear about that.
Yeah, you're not beholden to that at all.
I don't feel that way, but, I would love to hear everybody's thoughts.
I think that we should have 5. And I also think the most important thing is to have somebody that is committed to doing it. And so if somebody knows of somebody that's willing to do that, then I think we can do it tonight. I think if not, that we need to
Right.
wait. I think we need somebody that's going to be able to attend all our meetings and participate actively in them, or we don't have the representation that our town deserves. So those are the things that I think are important.
I do like, oh, sorry, go ahead, Walter.
So possibly the best, one way is the application process. At least you'd get people who take the time to fill out the application, then we could
Right.
vote on.
And you'd get to know them a little bit before you, like, because if you just brought up a name, I'm not from here. I admit it. Like, I know my limited circle of people in town, but there's probably a pretty good chance I probably wouldn't even know the person that somebody would bring up. So I like, at least if I have that application a little bit ahead of time, I can ask around and with my limited, probably I'd ask my mother because she knows more people than I do.
We're not meeting again until August, right?
Right.
So there's some time.
There is some time. We're not,
And I do know when I joined the school board and I was appointed to that, I came and another person came and we had a discussion with the council and
Right.
they made a decision.
Right.
So, I think it's a way to make sure that you have somebody that's committed to the work, because it is work and people need to be committed to it.
if my memory serves correctly, which it may not be, but when, not Sunny, but, what's her name? Oh, my word. Yes, thank you, Cindy. When we chose Cindy, we had applicants come and tell us, kind of introduce themselves and tell us why they would want to do it, right? Like, because I remember Sunny was one of those people at that time, if I'm remembering correctly, even though we chose Cindy.
So this was just before I came here
Right.
in the fall of
Okay, it
21.
was before you. I was trying.
But I
it was
watched,
before you or after you. So-
yeah, but I watched the video of
Yes.
that. And so, yeah, so you can do that. We have done another, since I've been here, applications and we didn't really get any. And so
Nobody seems to want to take out
if
papers.
you do the application thing, hopefully we get some stuff between now and August. What I can do, surrounding vacation land and all
Yeah.
that.
so-
What I can do is if we receive any, once we receive them, I'll email them out to you immediately. So you're not that night having to go through 6 or 7 applications in theory and decide Johnny on the spot.
Right.
As I receive them, I can give them out to you. I think that would
Right.
make sense. And if we should not get any for that August meeting, then you're going to have another level of thought process to
Yeah.
consider.
Well, I do think one good thing about it taking almost 2 months before we have our next meeting is we can talk to some people and see if they're interested, right? Like, I mean, I've had individuals, I hope he's not listening right now, but I have individuals that complain to me and I keep saying, well, what are you gonna do about it? Like, join the council, join the budget committee, join this, like, be part of the system if you're gonna complain. So, I think, and I think we all know people that would be, probably do a decent job. So it's just whether they're willing or not. Go ahead, Drew. I know you had something.
This would be the full 25 signatures application.
No,
No, this would be much more, what I would envision would be the committee application
Yeah.
form.
that's what we had them do last time.
Yeah. So
I do remember. people
anybody
doing
can
that.
go online at the bottom of the front page of our portal is a committee application form. And I'll put it out there on, assuming you vote to do it this way, I would put it out there on the website and Facebook as well. And we'll see. I call it trolling, regardless of whenever you're hiring somebody, you just go trolling.
And the good thing is those people that had the write-ins, if they're interested, they can apply.
Most certainly.
Like, the thing about a write-in is you don't know if they're interested or if somebody else was interested in them having being, like, just because they're been written in doesn't mean they actually had agreed to do it. I mean, Mickey Mouse might have gotten
So if this is your preferred way of doing it, I should have a formal vote to that effect.
So I would entertain a motion to accept applications.
Motion that we accept applications to fill the remainder of Paula's term, which would be a 1-year term.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
To be considered at the August, I
August
think,
meeting.
August meeting.
According to what's before us, yes. Hopefully, there will be something before us. All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
Passed. Oh boy, here we go. So the liaison, you should have a sheet, where that looks like this.
Yep.
Ray, I'm just gonna go through what we did last year, and if you want to do that, that's fine. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. If you'd rather do something else, that's fine. Oh, look, Mary was sunny, and so that was our issue 16. Look at that. But you may not want to do that anymore, so I wouldn't
No,
put that on.
I guess my question is, can you tell me a little bit
Yeah.
more about?
Yes,
what
let
the
me explain
role-
to you. Yes.
Okay, that would be helpful.
Yes, that would be good, because I think there's been some confusion out there to what a liaison is. A liaison, literally, you're not part of the committee that you're a liaison to. You're our liaison to the committee. But that allows them to ask you some questions, but it also allows you to, if they have questions for us, you can bring, it's like anything, you've been a part of committees for a long time. It's okay to say you don't have the answer to anything. You can say, I don't have that, but I can get it for you. I will get that answer. So like, you're basically the go-between between that committee and the person. So we try to make the meetings as regular as possible. I can't say that I've been always good at it. So does that clear it up? You're not voting members of any.
Well,
committee.
I did
Right.
read the charter, and the charter said that you could vote if there was not enough to, okay.
So Mary, you get a gold star for reading the charter. You do.
Got it, and I took 4 pages of notes.
So
So-
unfortunately, in
We're
the
gonna have to
town
repeat this
charter
about the charter.
are a handful of inconsistencies, which eventually should be cleared up. And as a part of that, the town's attorney has issued a verdict that you cannot, well, at least for the water department. So you're a member of the as a member of the council, you are de facto a part of the water department, but you are not an official now I don't want to get my words twisted and wrong either.
Committee member of the water department.
Yes, so if I don't know if it's the water department or any other committee, you
Sewer.
are not a voting member. Even
Sanitary.
though it says that you are not a voting member. And so I just want to, even though that was not very clean, but yeah, but good catch.
I may have to have her give me lessons on the charter. I'm sure she could teach me a few things.
And for me, the liaison is exactly what you've been doing.
Right.
Well,
You have been the
it's-
RSU 16 liaison to
Yeah.
us. That's the way I see it.
Okay,
It would
just
just.
want to
be
make sure I
jumping- you'd be
understood the
Jumping from one
role.
committee to the other.
Sure, I understood the role.
Yeah. So anyways, now we look at, I just want to take a minute and look at it. Like, if you're like, I don't like the one that I was on, I'd rather do something else. Or I'm already heavily involved in that and it'd be good for somebody else to, but at the same time, we're all busy. So if you're already involved in something, it doesn't hurt to be part of it. I don't know, like, am I just rambling now? Probably am. Tired. Yes, I figured you were already part of that. So Ray's has volunteered to be part of the sanitary district
Okay, Ray,
liaison.
okay,
I can take planning board, at least until we
Okay,
get a.
so Walter Planning Board,
yep. Let's do that. Let's go through. If there's something that interests you, throw it out there and then unfortunately, we have way more committees than we have people. So you're gonna double dip somewhere. So say the one that you write to do, and then we're probably gonna have you do one other one.
I mean, I can do the RSU 16 one.
Yes, you certainly may. And I think that, yes, I think that would be appropriate personally. So long as my only concern would be, like, I know you've stepped down and maybe you just want a break. I mean, you've had a lot of years, but I don't see that in you, but at the same time, I don't want to force it on you.
It will be a different role for me.
Yes,
so,
it will be.
yeah.
Unfortunately, we all get to be part of the budget committee, so you're all on that. So then we have the Developmental Commission, Board of Appeals, the Recreational Committee, Library Trust, Historical Society, Community Day, and Christmas Committee.
I can do the Community Day one.
Okay.
I'd be happy to do that. Community Day.
Mary Community Days?
All right.
which-
All right. Walter said he was going to stay on development.
Walter?
I mean, I personally like the library, but it's an easy one. So like, I kind of feel guilty.
You for a
I
library?
will if nobody else cares, but if somebody's like, oh, I'd like to do that one. Sorry, Mary, you said community day.
Yep.
So we have the Christmas committee, Historical Society, Recreational Committee, Board of Appeals, and we do have, Lord willing, we're gonna have somebody that can take a couple of these.
Right,
Right?
right.
So we don't have to, I mean, in my mind, if we leave a couple of them blank, or we can just say de facto, when you join, guess what? You get these ones.
You're on 4 committees.
No, I wouldn't do that. Still have only gotten on one, so like, I don't mind whatever. So,
I'm still going to historical meetings, so.
okay.
Walter
All right.
Historical?
Who is in charge of the Christmas committee now? You know, do we know? Is there somebody?
Yes. Brain freeze.
Michelle do it?
Edwards. First name's escaping me. I'm sorry. At any rate, I have on my calendar, I'm going to reach out to her during the month of July. So that gives her a good 6-month window. And
I can do any of the 3 that are left. I don't mind. If you think there's a better place for me, I'll go wherever you think.
so I will say this, that I do think Walter's doing planning board.
Yeah,
Walter's name's down here a lot, but the Board of Appeals
well,
maybe should be the person doing the planning board too. The Board of Appeals doesn't meet, it's only met once since I've been here. So I think that makes the most sense, because for continuity's sake. So Walter for Board of Appeals, and then that leaves Recreation and Christmas for the new person?
well, I mean, I've only done one. So
Yeah.
Walter, you need to give up one of them. I don't want to make you do it. You want me to do Historical Society, even though I know you still attend?
Yeah. if you want.
Okay. That's good for me to get.
So
something.
Daryl
I'm
is,
gonna do Historical Society.
okay. That still leaves Recreation and Christmas.
Right, those aren't too hard for anybody that's coming in.
Yeah.
All right,
So for the internet world, I'll run down through the list for you.
yep,
So proposed committee liaisons for FY26 for the council, RSU 16, Mary, Sanitary District, Ray, Planning Board, Walter, Budget Committee, everyone, Development Commission, Walter, Board of Appeals, Walter, Recreation Committee, 5th person, the Library Trust Committee, Daryl, Historical Society Committee, Daryl, Community Days Committee, Mary, Christmas Committee, 5th person.
sounds good. Do we have to vote on this?
You do.
Okay. I make a motion as you just read it. Oh, I need a second.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept this list. Any More discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
That's passed. That actually was less painful than I thought it would be. The appointment list. 26.
Also, I had a couple questions about that. Just, I didn't know
Oh, yes.
what some of the
Thank you.
the roles meant. Number 7, health officer. And I noticed it was the same person as code enforcement, which made me wonder what was the role of the health officer?
So, good question. So, in most communities like ours, the size, you do have a code enforcement officer. And that code enforcement officer, because of the smallness of our community, wears many hats, like we all do. And so one of the hats that person wears officially is health officer. And so there is real responsibility. I've already assigned as TM as a part of the job description, that title and responsibility to Thomas. So I do present this to you as a little bit of overkill, but I think it's good just to have everything defined. Some of it I've already technically defined, others you assign. And so this is the overall appointment list. So the health officer, if there's a situation in town, somebody living in squalor with kids, and it's just a real health hazard,
Yeah, that's what I
then the
figured.
health officer goes in and has authority to shut that place down and to work with DHS and moving kids. And there's real responsibility there. And he also wears several other hats that
But-
encompasses that world.
That kind of works with code enforcement because he may already be there for the
Right.
building, but then he sees the conditions.
Yeah.
Or the conditions get reported or whatever. But
And then I wondered what general assistance hearing board, is that really a board or is it just one person? And is it like an appeal?
So good question. So I've accepted the responsibility as general assistance administrator for the town. And if I make a decision that a person, the applicant, doesn't agree with, they have a couple of different appeal things. They can appeal within a certain amount of time to the state, and the state can get involved. There's also a local appeal officer, and Danielle Loring has agreed to be that person. I can tell you that in the time that I've been here, we haven't had to have Danielle do anything.
So it's not an actual board then?
No, it's just
Not-
as a part of the state statute process, there needs to be avenues for an appeal.
Yep.
And depending upon how the particulars of said details,
is this, I just have a question because that does raise a very good question in my brain. Because it says board, so you automatically assume more than one. Does it need to be written that way or can it be changed
could
in
be.
the future to officer or something? Hearing officer. you know what I
hearing
mean?
officer, yeah. I
Does
could
that make
change it.
sense?
Yes,
Because I think Mary made a very good point. Like
Yeah.
I didn't even see it. I didn't catch it. But
nor did I.
Then 16, I don't know what that is. Alternate CEO, LP.
Code enforcement officer and local plumbing inspector.
All right, that makes sense. Got it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and so this is actually new to the town. About a year ago, just when Thomas was starting, the code officer for the town of Norway, Chris Billadu, he has agreed to be our alternate code officer and plumbing inspector. Should Thomas be on vacation or be ill or whatever the case may be, Chris is our alternate, and it helps to protect the town with another layer. So that way yours truly, because if we don't have one, the town manager unfortunately is the code officer, and nobody wants that.
well, and it kind of started from that he didn't have his licensing at the beginning. So it was an opportunity for, like, we basically needed that for coverage. But now it works great because if for some reason we need coverage for another reason,
Right.
we have that happening.
Right.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, not a problem. Good questions.
So, yeah, go ahead. Right.
We accept the list as presented for the town council annual appointment confirmation as listed.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion?
Only one,
Yes,
you do have to sign this.
yep.
And, I think the blank,
The
I'm going to
blank would be
write Mary Martin.
Yes. And just,
So when Mary signs it,
we can use mine if you want. I haven't got.
yeah, it doesn't matter to
haven't got
me.
it in writing.
I just need one signed.
Yeah.
After you vote.
Yeah, after sorry, Walter, wait. Thank you. That was a good catch on your part. I really am tired. Sorry. I apologize. All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
Okay, now it's passed. Now you can sign in. He's got it right here. Can I borrow your pen real quick? I brought a pencil to the pen fight. Can you read my own writing? Oh, no, I don't. Down to one. Okay, the last thing is 14.6. The August date and time.
I'm on vacation the first Monday in August, so I'm
I
just,
usually am,
well.
but I actually can make it this time, but that's okay. I don't mind because I will be extremely tired, more tired than I am tonight. I'm good with the second Monday if everybody else is. Does that work for you, Ray? Okay,
I think that's August 11th.
yeah. That makes
And
sense.
may I suggest 6 PM? Because I think between
gonna
now
be
and
heavy.
August, you're going to have a very busy
Yeah, that works for
agenda.
me.
And you're going to have, that's tax commitment night. So there's going to be discussion there.
We never have discussion.
Yeah. So 6 PM on Monday, August 11th.
Sounds good.
Vote.
Do we have to vote on
You
it?
do.
Okay,
Make a motion at our next meeting, August 11th at 6 PM.
Second that.
been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
I say we adjourn. Any other committee I'm involved in, the chair can just tell us that, but I will vote on it. If you agree, then get up and go home.
Chair's discretion. Meeting adjourned.
Meeting is adjourned. All right, you need to not give me these clips. They're beautiful clips, but I don't need them.